Good Wednesday morning. I'm Angela Hughes, the luxury travel entrepreneur, and welcome today. We're doing a special edition today where we're talking all things travel technology. And I've got the experts with me today. I've got Irving Betesh from SION Central, or SION. New commission tracking system that is so red hot, you guys. So get ready. We're going to be talking about that today. And we want you to ask your questions because this is a new thing that's out and super amazing to do everything that you want it to do. So let's start talking about that for a minute. Irving, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us how you kind of started this whole thing?
Cool. Yeah. So my name is Irving. Thank you for having me, Angela. And thank you all for joining. So this system was built by a travel agent. I started my own agency about 10 years ago. My business picked up. I had no background in travel. I was named Travel Agents 30 Under 30 in my second year, and I was psyched. I just thought I would start receiving all the commissions that I earned. That wasn't really the case, and I just attributed it to ignorance. So I reached out to colleagues and found out that the systems that they were using and the systems I were using, were either very outdated or didn't focus enough in my opinion, which is one of the most, if not the most important thing, is the money that you earn, right? It's like all the tools that they might have to help you sell a trip, which is very important. But in terms of actually getting the money, I started feeling like these commissions are like IOUs, right? And I need to follow up on them and reconciling them. It just took so much work. So after, many years of just complaining about it, my partner, Alphonse, came up to me and offered to help get this off the ground and really go all in on this. And we built a system that, when I get to sharing my screen, we'll see that first off, it's in the 21st century. You can tell that it is a lot different and fast and automated than what you're used to. But what it really does is instead of having commission tracking as a supplemental feature, commissions and booking revenue is really the highlight of SION. And what it does is it has a record of all of your receivables, and it basically manages all of your commissions and receivables as a company. We have some light CRM features as well, and also are in the process of integrating with some external tools for certain features that we might not have or might not be on our roadmap. But yeah, to answer your question, SION is a 21st century solution for commission management and transparency. And that's just what we've built now.
I feel like I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. I've been saying SION.
You're with 98% of the people. So you're. Okay,
where does that come from? First of all, I'm thinking, is it a Jewish name? Is it your background? What is the SION?
It is the name. It's so hard. I'm sure there's probably a lot of entrepreneurs listening to this. One of the most, difficult parts is coming up with a name for your company when you have an idea. Right. So we couldn't come up with one for months. My father and my son's name is both SION. So one day I was just like, these tech companies just have like some short name that no one knows what it means and it just works. Should we just use SION? We put it as a placeholder until we found something better, and it never happened. So,
well, I think it's perfect because it is short and sweet. Now we just got to pronounce it right, because I don't want to ever call your son like Zion.
But it happens every day. So don't worry.
Okay. So who is this really for? I mean, we know it's for advisors. I've been using it. I think it's red hot. Who else? Because I've got destination management companies. I've got hospitality groups on here. We've got close to 4,500 people on here, and this is streaming to other groups too. And so there's going to be a lot of traction over the day. But who is this really for? Because a lot of advisors already come in and they've got something in TravelJoy or Test or one of these companies that are tracking their commissions. So who's your ideal client avatar for this?
It's a great question. So we've intentionally built SION flexibly enough. And we were able to do that because of my background in travel and understanding different roles, where we've really built it for everyone, which is not the answer you want. But if you want really specifically, we are perfect for individual advisors that have a host agency, right? So that works perfectly. SION does a great job of very simply bringing in some information beforehand so that it's able to automate a lot that you might need to do after the fact. So, and then better than an IC or an agent that has a host agency is actually getting an entire agency, whether you have contractors or not. SION really specializes in transparency between the agency and their agents, or the agency and the independent contractor, where, it shows you what you need to know. It knows what your split is and able to follow up on commissions. It also is great for corporate. We have GDS integration so that, it's really second to none. You make a booking in the GDS. If you do, it pops up in our system immediately. There's a cancellation, a change. It updates immediately. Okay. And then to answer going forward who our system will be for, the whole second half of this year is going to be focused on bringing suppliers onto our system. So hotels or other vendors where they're going to be managing their payables. So there's really one transparent loop on our system. And we hope by the end of the year that we can actually even process some of these payments when applicable. So we have some really big goals, and we just got started.
Okay, so we already have a question from Chris right now. Chris says, can you track marketing money from vendors?
Yes, we can track any receivable. So to be clear, we are not a general ledger. So we're not. You're not
using QuickBooks, because that's like the question. Like when I first got involved with you, it was like, am I doing the same thing I'm doing in QuickBooks and just invoicing, or no? So talk to us how that becomes a little bit different than your typical tracking system in QuickBooks.
So we wanted to keep it simple. We just felt like, why build? Because like client base has trams as a general ledger. Why build a general ledger if there's general ledgers that are so inexpensive off the shelf that you could buy that are amazing? So we're going to be integrating with QuickBooks and other general ledgers. Right now, you can export all your data out of SION, but we're going to have a live integration with QuickBooks in the coming months. But basically, like I said, we try to keep it as simple as possible. Is any receivable, any money that is owed to you or that you've earned for your company, whether it's someone owes you rent, someone owes you a fee, marketing money, whatever the case is, our system will track that money for you. It'll follow up on that commission for you by the end of this month. So it's really for any receivable that you have as a company. Doesn't matter if it's a hotel, air, tour operator, client itinerary fee, you name it. SION gives you that security and confidence that once it's in here, I'm eventually going to get paid on it because I won't forget about it and it'll be in your face. And SION makes it so easy for you to find these receivables.
Question coming through, and we're going to answer this one probably at the end. Can bookings be imported? And I know he's probably going to talk about that. So I'm going to hold that question.
The answer is yes. We can give a little preview to that.
Okay, preview. Okay.
But yes, the answer is yes. You can import any structured data into our system.
Okay, so I know that you want to show us the system and we are ready. So what do you have for us there? You can share your screen down at the bottom. And if you guys are watching, you just tuned in, I'm with Irving. He's from SION Central, which is a commission tracking system for the travel industry, just not for agencies, but you could use it in hospitality. You could use it if you're a tour operator or if you're a DMC or an expedition company. It works for a lot of different companies. And so it's so amazing what it can do. And it is so simple. He's saying, oh, I'm under 30. I was amazing under 30. I'm over 50 and I could use it with ease. So I'm giving like the old people endorsement on that. So
I'm turning 36 soon, but all I'm saying is when I first started out, I had a good start to the travel career, and I just couldn't believe that I couldn't find where my money was that I earned. So
yeah. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to log into an account right now. This is a demo account that we have. So just so I know how in depth I want to go, how much time would you say we have, Angela?
We probably have 20 minutes to spend on this.
Perfect. Okay. So when you log on to SION, like I said, first and foremost are dollars and cents, the revenue you booked, the commissions you've earned, and basically log in and you're looking at a live report at all times. So I'm going to spend most of my time on the bookings page. It's a very simple concept throughout the site, is that what you click on is what you see. There's a filter bar on most pages on the site. And I'm going to basically start out by giving about a 15-second overview of each of these pages. and then I'll come back and go in a little more depth. So the bookings page is where you're able to see all of your receivables. We call them bookings, but basically anything, whether they're fees, commissions, etc., or things that you might have marked up for a client. You see that all here. Doesn't matter if it's in the future or it happened before or it's owed or it's paid. Based on the filters you select on the left is what you see, and you can see everything on this page. Next, you have the commissions page. So what the commissions page focuses on, and you'll notice that you can do a lot of the same things throughout SION, but we sort of built it understanding people's workflows. So commissions is more of an accounting page where this is only showing you money that has come in already. So very simply, same thing, you could filter payments by year, month, quarter, etc. Like I said, I'll go into a little more depth here, but here is where you only see actual numbers that have already been received. You can see numbers that have been reconciled against invoices or bookings in our system. And then you could also see unreconciled where you can post payments to SION that maybe you didn't know where it was for. So now if you have contractors or agents, they could come in here and claim these. So you basically have a whole unidentified, unreconciled section on SION that is transparent within your agency. And then you have batches. So this is more for larger agencies, but you're able to drag in reports from an Onyx, a TACS, IHG, etc., a UJV. If you're receiving reports with a lot of line items, you can just bring it into our system and SION will auto-reconcile these payments with the bookings in your system. So you can save hours, if not days of time, depending on the...
I want to stop you right there and ask a question here because I feel like people are going to ask this.
Sure.
Like Onyx has a membership fee. My agency splits that among the bookings that come through that week.
Yeah.
And so is there a way to like offset that service fee on there? Because but it's not actually a true number for people that share the membership fee. Mm-hmm.
It's a good question. So when Onyx sends a lot of different files, but one of the things that we've noticed is on their typical file, when you're setting up these imports, you can map. You have to map the file that you're bringing in. And Onyx, it auto maps it for you. It knows the files, but you can switch them around. So basically on Onyx, there's a column that shows you how much money the vendor sent. And then there's a separate column that shows how much Onyx is actually paying you. So you can map either one as the payment amount. Like if I were to click on this payment, you see that the payment amount is $77.42 from Pacific Beach Hotel, but the commission that was actually paid by Pacific Beach Hotel was $80.25, and there you see Onyx's fee and the difference there. You can choose as a company which one you want to use as a payment amount that will be used as, the amount that the split will be applied to with a contractor. So we give you some flexibility there. If it's something you were splitting with them, maybe before uploading the file, you can run a formula and add a column that just says, hey, I want it to be in the middle of these two numbers. But as of right now, SION does what you tell us to do. And right now it tells us, do you want it to be this number or this number?
Okay, got
it. Then you have the statements page. So this page focuses, if it applies to you, on the redistribution of commissions. So if you're an agency that when the money comes in, a portion of that needs to go to an in-house agent or an independent contractor based on your agreement or setup with them. Sorry about that.
Look, their phones are already ringing off the hook, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, okay, go take that.
Like a telethon. Okay.
Good call, Angela. So basically what happens is our system knows what your split is and what bookings a certain contractor or agent are responsible for. So as they get reconciled, in real time, it updates the statement. So if you are an agent or an independent contractor who has that set up with your host agency, you don't need to wait till the end of the month to figure out what they're paying you this month. You can see it in real time. So for instance, in this account, ABC Travel is a contractor. And now I'm looking at their bookings, this contractor's bookings with my IATA number. So let's say I received this payment right here, and I'm the agency, and I'm reconciling that I received $1,000 here. So now once this is marked as paid here, you see it's green now. Once I go to the statements, that payment will automatically be applied to next month's statement. So the next month's statement is on May 15th. So everything from May 1st to May 15th would go on the statement. The second I added that 1,021 as a payment, it knows, it's telling me I owe out this amount to my contractor as of today. And in the contractor's account, this statement is transparent. So they're able to see in real time how much money is owed to them by their agency. And you can change the split on a line-by-line basis. And basically, SION does all the work for you, and all that data is transparent. Next, you have the contacts page that shows you, all of your clients, all of the suppliers. We have, profiles for clients and suppliers. So you're able to come in here. We're linked with Google, so you're able to get some cool things here, a map and some pictures. We have some light CRM features on here. And here you have, a list of your bookings in 2021 with the supplier. You're able to see how much business you gave them. You can switch between revenue and commission amount. You can see what status these commissions are in, which I'll get to in a minute. Contacts at the hotel, etc. So SION does a good job of letting you know where you stand. And I would say some of the best feedback we get from our users is that our system really empowers agents, where they feel so much better about their business and where they stand, because they don't typically have all this data available to them, or they're managing it on an Excel sheet.
Okay, the question is, will you go towards CRM, like heavier CRM use on this?
We will to some capacity. We have a huge release coming out this month that focuses on trips, where you're able to, create trips, create custom invoices, tasks, all this type of stuff. I don't know if we ever want to be a full-blown CRM, but we will always have our own separate development department that would always be dedicated to integrating with other CRMs. But for instance, just to show you now, every booking in our system has this drawer here where you're able to see so much information on a booking and also on a trip. You're able to have tags and notes and tasks on here, attachments. So if I wanted to come in here and say, well, sorry, that wasn't dragging. Did that work? Oh, sorry, my computer's just slow.
It's unfortunate timing.
That's how it works, though, See, it's just grabbing things. Okay.
I just wanted something new there where you could actually attach the invoice. I'm going to make my agents do that. So attach the invoice and have that right in there.
Correct. And you can have everything all in one place. This could be the hotel confirmation or the vendor, whatever vendor confirmation. This can be an itinerary you created with them. We're also looking to integrate with Access and Travelify in the near future. But let me show you how to get a booking in here. First, I think I have 10 more minutes as part of the demo. So I want to take you through how easy SION is to use. So in terms of adding in bookings, obviously, like I mentioned, you could import, you can, we're connected with the GDS. Obviously, we have manual entry too. So you click on the add booking button, and Angela's in here already because we've done a demo with her before. But whether or not, obviously your clients would auto-populate, or I could do, make up a new name and you just add a new client. When you add a new client, when you save the booking, it automatically creates a profile for them. But let's book something for Angela Hughes now. Angela, where do you like to go? Any hotel that you love or anything like that?
Go to the St. Regis Bora Bora and just make it easy.
All right, let's do that. So you take the St. Regis Bora Bora, it auto-populates where, we pull a lot of this data from external sources, a lot of it from Google. And let's say we sent you there already. So let's take you there. It was in April. Our system always creates a due date which by default is 60 days after the end date of the trip, but this could be before the trip starts. You can change this due date to any date you'd like. And then you put in the amount. So if, let's say, it was $1,200 a night for the St. Regis, it knows the number of nights, it gives you the revenue, but all of these work together. So if I just said this was a $6,000 booking, it'll give you 10% commission of $600. If I change this to 15%, it updates the estimated commission. Or if I put in a flat amount here, it'll figure out what that commission percentage is. So these all work dynamically. You could put in a confirmation number. Let's say this was for a honeymoon, or you could create your own tag that you wanted to, whatever, let's just keep honeymoon. But you can create your own tag if you wanted to. And this is where, if you have multiple IATA numbers, you can change that. Change who the agent is if you have the right permissions at the company. But again, most of this stuff, it's really the left side that you're filling out. You save the booking. It asks you if you want to put in some or edit profile information. Most people ignore that, but now the booking is in the system.
Yeah, question that's coming through. What programs does this platform integrate with? My biggest problem is having to input bookings into a CRM, and then I have to input it into this system. So is it a double step?
So it could be a double step. If your agency is on here, you might not need to. You could just put it in SION. If not, it could be double work, which is why we tried to make it as simple as possible. We were hoping that we would have enough that we would be able to replace what system you're using, but understanding that we have some ways to go with some CRM features, even though they are on our roadmap. That we will be integrating. So it really depends on what system you're on and their technology. But
now I'm just going to put a plug in because I use Monday.com as my CRM, and I will probably never switch from that. But one thing, I mean, it really only takes a minute to import something into here. It's so fast, you guys. So don't get hung up on that you feel like you're going to be duplicating what you put in your CRM. Because once your names are in there, if you put them in one time and use that client again, it auto-populates it. It's super easy. So I'm saying an entry is probably a minute or two.
Right.
So
and if you ever did want to import bookings, this could be 1,000 bookings. You tell us what each column is. So let's say this was the created date. This is the confirmation number, the client name, etc. You only need to do this one time because then it saves as a preset the next time you do it. And then you bring them in, and it can bring in as many bookings as you want, simply as long as they're in a CSV or a text file.
Okay, so that's new to me. So you can import your bookings, and like I'm using Monday.com, I can just use that Excel spreadsheet right there, import it, and create my own column. So
correct.
Wizard, you guys, wizard. Okay.
It's very easy, and that's one of the things we hope people see about our system today. If you come away with anything, is that we wanted to make this system simple, easy to use, because there's, travel industry is lacking in technology. Another thing I wanted to show you, because I'm sure a lot of people here do FITs and trips like that. So that was a typical, what we call a supplier invoice when I added that booking, where there's a revenue amount and a commission percentage that you are earning. And that's why there's a dot by the supplier, because the money that you or your agency earned is coming from the supplier. They're the ones who are paying it to you. You could also do a non-commissionable booking here. If you change this to client, there's two types of client invoices. You have fees, which are pretty straightforward. Someone owes you a flat fee. Then there's net. And here, it's like whether it's an FIT or something that you're a tour operator that you're buying and selling. So now I'm doing a trip for Angela Hughes, and I'm using ABC Tours. They're a touring company, but I pay ABC Tours and then charge Angela. So what SION does, which is great, is it allows you to say, hey, what's your cost on this? This is $1,250. And how much are you charging Angela? I'm selling it to her for $1,750, marking it up 40%. And now what'll happen is when I save this booking, our system knows that the invoice that it's creating in the background here is to Angela for this Italy tour. You can't really see this here, but if I download it, I can show you. Every booking on our system has an invoice. where you can see here now this invoice, instead of being to the supplier, the St. Regis Bora Bora, this is to Angela Hughes for an Italy tour for $17.50. And when you tell SION that you received this money, it knows that you profited $400 or $500, whatever it was, because it knows that there was a cost associated to that. It also knows the difference between you only gave ABC Tours $12.50, the full $17.50 is not their revenue. So it does get into the nitty-gritty on SION. A few other things I wanted to show you. So on this, in terms of what you see here, we have an amazing search here. So I could go and search for a specific client. I can do multiple clients. So if, let's say, I wanted to see Angela Hughes and Mark Zuckerberg and Bon Jovi here, I can run any custom report I want to see, get totals, things like that. One thing you'll notice is, like I said, what you click on the left is what you see on the right, and you'll get totals on top. So you get totals in number of bookings, a breakdown of what status they're in, because you'll see each booking here has a color-coded bar to the left that correlates to one of these statuses here on the filter bar. We also give you a total in booking revenue with a breakdown in status, and you can switch between booking revenue or commission revenue. And it also tells you the breakdown of what status those commissions are in. And you could also, depending on your agency setup, see gross or net. So if you're an independent contractor, you might see, hey, I want to see the commission that I have on the books in total, and then net, which is the amount that's actually coming to me after my host agency takes my split. So you're able to really get into your numbers in a way that people haven't before, unless they had these, like, in-depth Excel sheets.
And let me say something, but just if you're an agency owner, I feel like when my advisors know what their numbers are, and I'm talking data all day long, we just did a whole show on that yesterday on data, knowing your numbers. They're incentivized when they look on there and they see, like, oh my gosh, I'm almost to $500,000. I'm going to be at $1 million by here. It's motivating to see what your numbers are. So there's some like other beneficial things to this than just the tracking.
Of course. And that's why I mentioned before, the best feedback we get is the empowering of the agents. It really does something to you, to your financial control. You could also search in here for suppliers. So if I want to, all my Four Seasons, Baltimore bookings, I could do that. And there's also a free search. So if I just wanted to type Angela and not select one of the Angelas below and just press enter, it's going to show me anything with that string. Same thing for confirmation number. If I put in 0308 here and just press enter, that booking will come up. So it's a very smart search. You're able to search by a bunch of additional things here. And then you're also able to search by tags, which are so powerful. I want to see all my honeymoon bookings. You can add tags to individual bookings. You can add them to profiles as well. So if you want to say a client is a VIP, or this supplier is located in this country, or whatever it is, and add that tag. If you add a tag to a profile, it'll add it to all bookings made with that client or supplier, past, future, present. So you never need to add it again if it's like an umbrella type tag. Or individual tags could be honeymoon, it could be Art Basel, it could be bachelorette party, it could be anything that's more specific to a specific booking.
And I love that, because then you can really dial down on who your clients are and uber focus and say, I did X amount of dollars. Like I have tags that say luxury, high net worth individual. I mean, I make up my own tags, and then I report on who that is.
It's great for marketing too. If you wanted to go search who has I don't have a wellness tag, but make believe I did. If I had like a spa and wellness tag that I put on some clients' profiles, I could come to my contacts, search that. It'll show me, 20 clients that like spa and wellness. I could go download this. It'll download all their emails and everything like that. And now you have a marketing list to market to for that. So there's a lot of flexibility there. Dates, we keep improving this. So like you could obviously search by year, by quarter, by specific month, by any dates or a specific date. But we also allow you to choose which date you're using. So you can use the start date, the end date, the date that you sold it, the payment date, if applicable, or the due date. So I can see, hey, I want to see all my bookings that are due in June. And it'll show you that, hey, from a commission standpoint, I should expect to receive about this much money in June. So it really allows you to be in control, like I said, of your numbers. Statuses, I want to see all my upcoming business. You could also still sort these columns if you want to. I want to see everything that's owed. So owed means it's officially owed to me and I should be expecting it soon. These automatically change. So once the end date passes, it automatically changes from upcoming to owed. Past due overrides anything. You have a due date on every booking that you're in control of. If that due date is reached without a payment, the booking automatically goes to this past due status. Paid is paid, canceled is canceled.
You can. What my wish list is for this right here is that it would have like a final date due column. So when I came in, there was another status that said, these are your upcoming final payment dates, or, something that like flagged me to know that final payment date's coming up.
Well, you're going to have that in our invoicing release that we'll have at the end of this month.
Oh, see, already making my dreams come true. Okay.
6 weeks from now till the end of June, I think whether they be task management, CRM, notification type things, our site from like that CRM and traditional travel agent tools is going to be night and day from what you're seeing today. You also have agencies. So if you have contractors, you're able to see everyone's business separately. You have agents that usually are for in-house invoice types. I mentioned those 4 to you before. I only want to see the ones that I marked up, just things like that. You have categories that are pretty straightforward. And then sources. We should probably add one to sources for imports as well. But how did the booking get in the system? And then quickly, I know I'm a little over time, Angela, but I just want to show you, for instance, on this booking that came in. Once the booking is in, we have a generate invoice. So now if you need an invoice to follow up, you can download it. But one of the things that we have in our invoicing release in the next 6 weeks is our system can automatically send these invoices for you. So you can tell SION if a booking is past due, automatically send the invoice to the supplier. So you can be sitting on the phone with a client. All of a sudden, you get an email from the St. Regis Bora saying, hey, the money's on the way, or we're sending it now. And you didn't even know that money was past due. So SION's going to actually be automating the dunning or the commission follow-up process. You see all the information here. You can always edit it here. You can cancel a booking. You can delete it. Cancel means it stays in our system. Delete, it's gone. And you could.
Okay, let's go back for a minute. When it sends the invoice, who's it sending it to? I mean, places have like commission departments, or is it just floating out there? I mean,
well, you could control it on the supplier's profile. Okay. We're going to have default contacts for not all, but for a lot of vendors loaded into our system.
Already loaded in. Okay.
And then you also have a lot of other things. Edit, you can duplicate. Let's say you did 2 rooms. You can either add it initially as 2 rooms, or you can create one and say this is for, Mark Hughes with a different confirmation number because you booked 2 and you don't want to fill it in again. And you just created a second booking so easily that you'll see pop up here now with all this other same information. You can generate an invoice. You see all this other data here. And like I mentioned before, if there is a payment, you're able to see that payment here. We always show you what you were expecting. So you could always see if you're happy with what you received. Maybe they sent you too much, too little, etc. And you can see those payments separately here. You can see what statement it's on, if there's money owed to you from that. Going back to Angela's booking here, tags and notes. So it shows me what tags are on here. I see that she's a VIP, Hughes family, Orlando. So if I search any of these tags, this booking will come up, and it shows you on what level that tag was applied. So these were on the profiles. This was on the individual booking level. I can add notes here. I can add tasks. There's some tool tips in here to be able to know how to create them as tasks and things like that, or checklist. Like I showed you before, attachments, you could attach anything you want there. And then you also have booking history. So if I were to go here and edit this booking, there is a timestamp for everything on our system. So you see which agent updated it, what date, what time, what they updated, what they changed it from, and what they changed it to. So you have a full log of everything that you've done on a booking. which is extremely useful. Any other things you think I should get into? I probably have only shown about 20-30% of the site, but I don't want to go too in depth. Obviously, anyone could feel free to reach out to us for personalized demos. They're always a lot more efficient when we know a little bit more about your company and we could focus on the things that matter to you.
Okay, now you mentioned a little bit that you're going to be moving into a relationship with Travefy. What's that going to look like? Is it too early to tell?
No, it's not. We're speaking with David again this Friday. They needed to wait on us. We have a release coming out called Trips. Obviously, itineraries are for trips with multiple segments. But right now, the only way you're able to group bookings on our system is through tags. We have a trips release where when you're creating a booking, there's going to be a tab on top that says trips. And if you click on it, you could say this is part of a trip, choose what trip it's part of. The trip will have its own page, its own invoicing flexibility, everything like that. It is going to be amazing. But once that is done, it'll be really simple. We can take a trip that you enter in here or vice versa and just push that data into Travefy. So when you go into Travefy, the skeleton of that trip is already created. And then obviously you will have a way to access that through the booking here.
Okay, I love that so much. Let's talk price points for people now, because I'm sure they're thinking like, what does this run on me?
Yeah, of course. So obviously, depending on the size of your agency, we do a lot of enterprise contracts. If you're a mid-sized to large agency, if you're just an individual agent looking to come on the system and use it, SION starts at $25 a month. Depending on the size, that number could come down, but like an individual to sign up is $25 a month per user. We have some additional things we charge for, such as GDS integration. So that could be an additional cost, or auto reconciliation. So this feature that I showed you earlier, if you're okay manually entering payments in here, no problem. If you want our system to do it for you and automate that process, it could be a little extra cost per month. But on a just per user basis, it's $25 a month.
Now, I know what the question is going to be, because I have this question all the time in this group. If a CRM has a complete capability of like storing names and everything and commission tracking, then what is the selling point of coming to you? How would you market yourself there?
Is that we put that front and center, and we want to own that space in terms of being the subject matter experts for anything that has to do with commissions. So yes, it might have that on your other system, but what you see here is the ease of use compared to these other systems, the way where it was built by travel agents and that we're building this through our users' feedback. I think that people that have moved on to our system prefer to use our system and not use their current systems, and just end up asking us to add more features on our system. Because
I was that person. I was like, here's my wish list. I think I'm still doing that. Like,
it's a whole different vibe on here. No, Angela, it's a different experience. And people like that experience, and they just wish that they could do more on here. And we've been trying to answer the bell on that. But it's just a totally different way of doing things. So it's really more forward thinking, and also keeping in mind what we have coming in. We think that when it comes to CRM, every person should be able to choose their own. Agencies like to choose it for their agents. We have a little bit of a different approach, is that travel, being an advisor is like an art. Everyone should use the tools that are special to them or that they sync with. But when it comes to the structure of your company, in terms of the money you've earned, getting paid, redistributing commissions, transparency, everyone being on the same way, basically the foundation of your company, that's what should be ironclad and is not up for negotiation. And that's what we focused on. The foundation of your company being run on SION, you will be in good hands, and it's going to be easy to use. You're going to get more agents to work with you because they like working on our system. And then when it comes to the personal things, what they like to use to manage their tasks or to build itineraries, we rather integrate with those systems, but we don't think that that's something that's ever a one-size-fits-all solution. So even agencies that use other CRMs, like you mentioned, trust me, there's other agents in that agency who don't like that software. It is so personal, which is why we like to focus on more of the foundational things in an agency and software that deals with that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because that's kind of my philosophy too. I don't feel like CRMs. I mean, I've gone through a million of them and I hate them all. And I use an outside of travel technology, and then found you. I feel like I'm like the perfect candidate for you. I was looking for you and hated everything else out there. And guess what, you guys? There's a lot of options, but there's not this option. And what's the demo option for people? How do people get started?
Well, it's really easy to create an account. You just click sign up. Within 30 seconds, you will have an account. We don't ask for any credit card information or anything like that. We notice the new accounts that come in, and if it's something that you're still using after a few weeks, we will reach out and discuss billing or send you an invoice. But it is free to try out right now. And it's really easy to sign up. And we always love people. It always happens anyway, but definitely reach out for a demo. You can. It offers it right when you sign into our site, or even before you create your account. You can always communicate with us through here on Intercom. You could talk to us, send us a message. We'll respond right away. And I think even when you first create an account, we send you a calendar that you can choose. A date for a demo. It shares our calendar with you.
Yeah, and so I know some people are trying it out right now, and they're saying they're importing lists or they have questions. So I'd say reach out to Irving and just ask those questions directly in an email or give them a call, because they're really helpful with that. So I know somebody's trying it right now as we're talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves on our customer service. So.
Yeah, and I think it's really good, you guys. I'm going to back that up. I have my whole product list, the Lux portfolio list, and this is at the top of my technology column. And it's definitely something you guys should all be looking at. And look, I'm a small agency, 21 people. Major agencies can be using this. Major tour operators can be using this. Use destination management companies. You can be using this. I know we have lots of DMCs, lots of international suppliers on here who are looking for strong technology. This is the hottest, newest thing out. So don't be missing out. What's the website again? Let's get that up. SION Central. Your kids are going to me. Family hates me. I'm calling
you got it up. That's right. And we do have a few international DMCs on the system. But like I said, if you have questions, it's always, like I said, because we're not a CRM and a lot more a serious part of your business, it takes attention, and it's important to know individually how this works with your structure. So please reach out to set up a demo, and we would love to do that. And yes, we've signed on in the past few months. Maybe you guys have seen in the press some really notable agencies, domestically and internationally. So that was huge validation for us to know that agencies doing hundreds of millions of dollars in travel and have hundreds of agents fully bringing us on to replace their current systems was a huge validation point for us, and we hope to make you believers too.
Okay, so be a believer, everybody. Give it a shot. Thanks for joining me today. Reach out at sioncentral.com, and you can replay this and watch it a million times to find out if it's right for you. Thanks. I'm Angela Hughes. See you later.